Okay, so today I'm going to talk about grammar types and how to use different grammar types to parse medication events from medical discharge summaries. So there are many types of grammar for parsing. The three that I'm going to focus on today is number one is context-free grammar, number two is context-sensitive grammar, and number three is dependency grammar. So what is context-free grammar? Basically, any of you who took an introductory course about on parsing will know that grammar is basically all grammars are composed of terminals and non-terminals. Non-terminals are anything that are not simple characters, letters, numbers, words, a combination of words and numbers and special characters. So non-terminal is anything that except a terminal or a single terminal. It's a complex symbol composed of a number of terminals or a number of terminals and non-terminals combined. So context-free grammar is basically the rules in all rules in context-free grammar has to follow the format V equals W. V, the left-hand side of the rule, always has to be a non-terminal. V equals non-terminal. So the left side of all rules in a context-free grammar has to be exactly one non-terminal symbol. The right side of the rules in a context-free grammar, CFG, can be anything. Can be an empty set, or a terminal, or any combination of terminals and non-terminals, or a non-terminal. So, for example of CFG grammar is a simple arithmetic grammar, where an arithmetic sentence can be x, y, z, or s plus s, or s minus s, s times s, s divided by s, or s between brackets. So you see, in all these rules there is exactly one non-terminal on the left-hand side of the rule, of each rule. They don't all have to be the same, they don't all have to be s in all the rules, but there has to be exactly one non-terminal on the left-hand side. Context-sensitive grammar is a little bit wider. It's a superset of CFG, where both the left-hand side and right-hand side can contain any combination of terminals and non-terminals. And one example of a language for writing Java language, a language for generating Java CSG parser grammar from rules is the gold rule language, gold parser, and I will do a short demo of that to show you what I'm working on with the gold parser in a separate presentation. Example of CSG grammar: S equals ABC, S equals AS, BC, and this is here the difference between the context-free grammar And the context-sensitive grammar is you have CB. So we have a non-terminal followed by a terminal, and that is an expansion over the context-free grammar, which only allows one non-terminal. Also, you can have two non-terminals, for example, or any number of non-terminals, or any number of terminals, or any combination of terminals and non-terminals. So it's a much more wider, more expressive grammar, CSG is. Still, though, has a lot in common with CFG, a lot of the same restrictions, the same rigid structure for grammar, although CSG is more relaxed for sure. Now, dependency grammar is a more dependency grammar is basically conventional natural language grammar, just like English grammar, French grammar, Arabic grammar, Italian grammar. The rules depend on the language. They are much more open structured than CFG and CSG. These are CFG and CSG are very restricted types of grammar to define more restricted languages, but dependency grammar is to define natural language grammar, speech grammar, which these rules are much more broad. Basic goals of these dependency grammars to establish dependencies between words in a sentence and identify sentence structure. So what is dependency? The dependency grammar basically defines a dependency tree. This is the parsed tree for the dependency grammar. It's called the tree bank. Generates a dependency structure. For example, the house at the end of the street is red. Is a verb related to the noun house. House is red, which is a property. House is red. So there's a dependency between the verb is and the house, and between the noun house and the property red. That's the color of the house. So, dependency structures. Dependency parsing is basically to try to generate that tree. It's composed of 3 steps: tokenization, break down a paragraph or a set of sentences into individual tokens, individual symbols, words, letters, punctuation. Sentence detection is to try and identify sentences. Part of speech tagging is identify the parts of speech, the noun, the verb inside each individual sentence. Example, Java dependency parser generators or parsing example parser generators. Link pipe is a very good dependency parser generator in Java. You can write code to define a parser, dependency parser. In this link pipe I did a lot of work on in the tokenization and sentence detection stage, and I'm still to work on the part of speech tagging stage. In the context of looking at extracting medication events from discharge summaries. So how to extract medication events from discharge summary? First, well, we have to ask ourselves a very important question. What is a medication event? Is it a CSG grammar or is it dependency grammar? Well, the answer is very simple. You would look at the structure of a medication event and you see that it has very strict structure. For example, aspirin 81 milligrams 3 times a day, prescription. So this has a very strict structure. It has a medication, followed by the unit 81 milligrams, followed by frequency of intake 3 times a day. So this is clearly CSG or CFG grammar. Okay, I'm sorry, there was a mistake here. So the question that begs itself next is what is it? Is a discharge summary CSG or dependency? Well, a discharge summary is basically a mix of medication events. So a discharge summary is clearly a combination of natural language and prescription language. So basically, discharge summary is both CSD and dependency. It's a mix of them. The medication event is a CSG, and the rest of the natural language is dependency grammar. So, can we use CSD to extract medication events from discharge summary? Well, we can use the concept of what's called the island grammar, which is basically, well, we say a discharge summary is a mix of CSG and dependency. So we just defined dependency basically as a body of water, a set of characters, a random set of characters and numbers and special characters. And the things that stand out, we say, are the islands or the strict dependency structure, strict CSG structure of the medication events. And that works well when you have the natural language well separated from the medications. So, for example, John was prescribed the following medications: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here is this island grammar parser can extract medications very well. However, things get more complex when you have the natural language mixed in with the medication event. In the patient X has been given for 20 milligrams of Y, PO 3 times daily to treat. X needs to continue intake for 2 months. So here we have this 20 milligrams of Y, PO 3 times daily for 2 months, mixed in with the dependency structure has been given and needs to continue intake. So there is a need to remove that dependency structure before using CSG parser. So we do dependency removal, which is basically, so by simplifying the removing the dependency grammar, we take out patient X has been given and we keep 20 milligrams YPO 3 times daily to treat, and then we take out needs to continue intake and 2 months. So we have 2 milligrams PO 3 times to treat 2 months. Simple, and we can define a very CSG rule for that: dosage followed by medication, 20 milligrams Y, followed by frequency by mode of administration PO, followed by frequency 3 times daily, followed by reason to treat, followed by duration 2 months. So this is what I've done here. So I've done a dependency parser and link pipe that does tokenization, sentence splitting. These are 2 completed steps, and I'm working now on the post tagging. We remove the dependencies, do some pre-processing, take out some stop words, punctuation, hashtag medication names. So replace every medication with a hashtag med, and then the medication, and then closed hashtag med. So annotation, replace all units, for example milligram, hashtag milligram, close the hashtag, and then we go into this island grammar parser. We should extract the medications. This is a much better setup designed to deal with extracting structure, CSG grammar, medication events from inside of a more natural language discharge summaries. So I will do a demo on link pipe, sentence splitting of discharge summaries on my YouTube channel. I have to work on that post tagger for link pipe in the first dependency parser. The final stage is the post tagging, and I would have to make my parser crash safe, and then test and analyze results, and hopefully I would get some good recall and precision values of extracting medication events from discharge summaries. So thanks all for listening. If you have any questions, let me know, and please watch for upcoming videos. Thank you so much.